Okay, today we're going to put together our tin can robot. The first thing I suggest to do is to get all your parts out like I've done and separate everything, because you're going to have nuts and bolts and screws and eye plates and a battery and a short leg and a long leg and some gripper hands and some straw attachments. You're going to have straws and you're going to have little wiggly eyes. I'll put them in the plate. You're going to have body rings, a battery case, a gear and axle, a motor cover, a motor, a body plate, and you're going to have 2 metal wires. Okay, a couple other things you'll need is a screwdriver, a pair of scissors, a little tiny bit of oil, and a Q-tip, and that's for lubricating the gear once you get it all put together. So we'll just set all this aside for right now. I'm going to move everything back, and we're going to start putting our tin can robot together by assembling the body ring, 1/2 of it, to the body plate, and you can see here where it goes, and you screw this on the back side, and I'm going to go ahead and put both of them on because you can press them on and they will pretty much stay. So I'm going to turn it over and screw these on, and it screws through this hole in the back. So let's do that. Make sure you don't apply too much pressure because you don't want to break this plastic piece, and you just screw just until it's tight. I'm going to turn it so I can see, and guide it to the hole, and whoops, didn't have that quite on there. I applied too much pressure, and screw that down just until tight. Okay, now let's go ahead and assemble the battery case. So there's 2 holes here, little square holes. You're going to stick the red and the black wire down through, and then this just sits there. Make sure you don't pinch your wire in there. And once you get that on, you're going to take your screws. I always put mine on the head, and put that right down in the screw hole and screw that on. And once again, don't ever tighten anything too tight because you don't want to strip the plastic. Let's get one more screw. It takes 2, and this one goes right here. And again, just enough. Okay, now it's time to put the motor in, and you're going to use these 2 little holes and put the wires right through there, and then just drop the motor right in, and it sits right there in the cradle. Next, you will put the gear, and it sits right here, but let's go ahead and put a little bit of oil on it, just a little bit, and it sits right in to the cradle. And then we have the motor cover. It snaps right down, and this takes 4 screws. So all we want to do is make sure that's down, and it is, and it snaps on, and then take your screws and screw that on. Remember not to do anything too tight. This is all plastic, and it will just strip it. That's 2. And also remember not to put too much pressure while you're screwing this way, so you don't snap your body rings. one more. Okay, now that's done. And now we're going to turn it over. And I'm going to go ahead and put this long leg on. There's a screw hole for it right here because that'll help it rest so I can work on the rest of it. Snap that screw in there. And this, there we go. Things in there straight. Okay, now, see, it just helps it rest so you can work. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and assemble. Let's put the wires together. And here you take a red and a black and twist the wires a little bit. And then there's two holes right here, 1 and 2. You're going to put that down in there and then take one of the little caps and snap it down in there, and it holds the wire in there, and just push a little bit of pressure. It doesn't take much. And then do the other one exactly the same way. Twist them together a little bit, stick them down in the hole, grab your cap and a little bit of pressure and snap it down in there. There we go. And then that's done. Next, let's go ahead and put the other body rings on. So we'll do the bottom first. This time you're going to use a bolt and a nut. And I'm going to stick this through here first, I think. And then right through here, and the nut goes on the bottom side, and I think I can just turn it sideways so you can see, and then just twist. You can just twist it right on, and then to tighten it up some, you might just want to hold it, take your screwdriver and turn it just a little bit. Don't get it too much because that's going to go. Okay, then let's do the other side the same way. Let's put this all in there. Line your hose up, turn it sideways, and get this bolt on. It's real tiny. It might be a little difficult to work with. There we go. And just turn it until it's snug, and then I'm just going to take the screwdriver again and just tighten it up with my fingers. I'm going to go do this one a little bit more with my fingers. Hold the nut, and there we go. Now it's time to put the other half of the body ring on, but this time you're going to need to put your straw attachments on as you're doing this. So I'm going to put this right on top of this hole, get my bolt, put it through that, and then I'm going to take and stick it right in my hole, and I'm going to line my bolt up and then take my screwdriver and try to hit that bolt so it screws on, and I think I've got it. There we go. And turn that. Okay. Alright, now it's time to do the other side. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to rest this on that. Put the bolt right through there, right through the other hole. I've got that in there, and I'm going to get my nut, and I'm going to try to line that up and hold it. Whoops, they're tiny. Hold it with my fingers right there, and try to screw the screw right through that nut. And there. I think it has caught. Yep. There we go. Let me turn this and tighten it just a little more. Okay. Now we have the body rings and the straw attachments on. Now it's time, I can go ahead and put the short leg on right here on the bottom. It goes on this ring and sits, and that helps set just like that. So let's put the screw right in there and screw that in. Now, this is our major parts completed. The next thing we do is I want to do the wires, and this will be his eyes. This is the eye plates and his wiggly eyes. And I'm going to take the eye plate and a wire, and I'm going to drop the screw right down in there, if you can see that. Hold it straight and screw that right into the eye, and that wire just stays right there. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side exactly like that. And there is, I failed to say, but it's right in there, but there's a little tiny slot in the eye button that I put this down in, just like that, and that's what made it stay, and it didn't spin around. And I'm going to put the screw in there, just like I did the other one, and screw it in. Notice the wires staying straight because it's in that slot. So make sure that's in there. Now, I said these were googly eyes, and I'm going to show you in just a minute after I put the eyes on what makes them googly. So these are just the peel and stick. So I'm going to peel and stick this right on. I'm going to sort of put it in the center. Whoops, slid it right off. Okay, and there's one. And let me get the other ones. Peel and stick. Sometimes the paper does not want to come off. Okay. And do this one the same exact way. Now I have my eyes. And this time I'm going to take this other screwdriver, and I'm going to hold it here with my eye, just like this. I'm going to change hands so you can see what I do. And I'm going to take this wire, and I'm just going to wrap it around my screwdriver. Just like that. And then slide it right off. And see, now you can see how that's going to be a googly eye. That's what I call it. And I'm going to do this one the same way. Just wrap it around. And then pull it off. Now, I have my eyes, and you can fix the wires the way you want to. And we're going to attach these right here. And you might have to bend it a little bit. And you can straighten them out as you get ready. So I'm going to put the screw through that, and then right into the hole, and screw that in. And it'll come up. I'm not going to worry about that. And again, just tight. Do not try to over tighten this. Let's do this one. I'll put it right into the hole, and then right into this one. Straighten it up a little bit. And tighten that one just now. Now, we have our eyes, and we can straighten them up whenever we're ready. Next, I'm going to take, now you see this is the short leg and why we did that so it would stand. Now for the straws, you notice these have the little flexible straw things. So right here, it's straight, so I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to snip it, but I'm not going to snip it too close because you need some room to attach them. And I'm going to turn them around the other way. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. And then I'm going to put them here on the straw attachments. Just press them on. And press this one on. And then we're going to give it some little hands. And I think these are really called gripper hands. So let's put those on there. So let's get this one on. And we're almost done. We can turn it now for the battery. And there is a spring here, so you know the negative part goes there, and the positive goes here. We just put it in. Whoops, this switch was on. And snap it down. And then there's a battery plate that covers that battery, and you just stick it on here. You can see where it goes over the switch. So maybe we need to put this end on first. And then there's one screw for this. It's right here. You can just drop your screw in. Take your screwdriver. Same thing. Don't over tighten. And voila. There we go. Now, we're going to do a little bit more. Now that we have this part assembled, I have aluminum can. It was soda can, and I painted it, and I'm just going to slide it right down through the rings until it stops. And we'll test it. We'll move the arms like we want to, and let's turn it on just a minute. Let's see, find the switch. And give it a test run. Yay, look! And that's our tin can robot.